Hello, everybody. My name is Hilary. I'm the DTC manager here at Zaca Mesa Winery. Joining me is
Gavin. I am the tasting room manager here at Zaca Mesa Winery.
So we thought we would take a little field trip into the vineyard today to share the October Reserve Black Bear Society wines with you. So today we're starting you off with our 2020 Petite Syrah. This is sourced from a vineyard in Alisos Canyon called Watch Hill, and we are all very excited about this one. Some of us have had the opportunity to taste it in barrel as it was going through its aging process. So I'm excited to taste it in bottle. Gavin?
I am too. A little side note too, it's the first vintage that Alisos Canyon has its own aviation. So it is cool that we have wine made from that first vintage. Gavin,
what are you picking up on the nose?
Like almost like a dark cherry to it.
I think it plays between the darker fruit profile, darker cherry. The tannins are really, really fine. They're not overly grippy, so it does make a very pleasant experience as you're tasting it in its youth. This is one that you can lay down for some time.
It's got a great ruby red color to it too. If you look at it, like just in glass, it's really pretty actually. I'm just gonna go braised short rib right now.
Okay.
I mean, Petite Syrah itself always packs a little bit of a punch, which is nice. I think, like as you mentioned before, the concentrated flavors in the fruit with the berry size, you just get that. You get that nice burst of fruit right at the front of it. Nice and elegant to the finish too. It's as I said, it's not, the tannins are, I think, a lot more structured. It's not overly tannic where your mouth is so parched like you can get from some Petite Syrahs, but this is quite nice.
For me, I'm going with anything with like a bean stew, black bean soup. I think the earthy qualities of the soup will pair really nicely with the fruit and the wine. I think they'll complement each other very nicely.
As you can see, I probably eat a lot more barbecue than you do. So
I barbecue vegetables.
If I'm gonna do that, you can do a nice, I'd probably say almost even a nice tomahawk with this too. It's almost
we're going big. We're going big with the tomahawk.
The next wine we have for you is our 2020 Repose, aptly named for a state of tranquility. I think for me, always in our profile of wines, this is probably the most lovable, drinkable red we have. A blend of Syrah, Cabernet, and Petite Syrah. For me, I think as we pour it into the bottle, just the color from the first part of it.
It's like garnet.
Yes, actually kind of funny. I've gone garnet hunting in the state of Washington in the riverbeds, and they do look just like this. So it's
a
nice.
Gem of a wine is what you're saying?
It is a gem of a wine. Just off the nose, you get the cab coming out and showcasing itself. Even just, I know it's a little bit more Syrah based in the blend, but cab just has that such power.
So with this, the 2020 vintage, it is predominantly Syrah with a little kiss of Cabernet and the Petite Syrah finishing it off. The Petite Syrah we are sourcing from Watch Hill again, so it's a vineyard site that we're excited to work with. But I agree with you. I think the Syrah, because it is such a predominant variety, it tends to try to take the center stage. Yep. And Syrah really is the center of attention on this wine. Yep. So it tends to lean between the darker and red fruits. It's very lush. Get a little bit of like almost like a brewed coffee or espresso or something a little bit more.
But there's something a little bit on the nose that like maybe I'm getting on the first kind of sip.
I think there's a sweetness that comes through of the fruit where it doesn't necessarily come through on the palate, but it gives that allure to kind of just draw you back in and just make you want to take another sip of this wine. I will say, I would drink this wine straight up by itself. It does not need food, but if we are going to pair something with this, I'm going to lean more towards like a hearty mushroom. Again, going to the earthy side to balance out the fruit profile on the wine.
I like, for me, it's almost like a pork loin, something that sits there with a nice bit of mashed potatoes on the side too. I don't want something that's going to overpower this so much that it's like, and the nice thing about this too, it's such a drinkable, just drink ready wine that you don't need that. You don't have the overly tannic flavor that sometimes you do get from cab. That allows for it, I think for me, something you can sip, taste a nice bite, and then just go right back to it.
I don't smoke cigars, but this would go well with cigars.
It would.
Absolutely.
Celebratory cigar and a repose.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so the final wine in the lineup for the October release is the real reason we're all here. Come on, it's Black Bear. This is our 2020 Black Bear Block Syrah. Gavin, I'll pour for you first.
Why, thank you.
You're very welcome. So our Black Bear block was planted back in 1978. We were the first to plant Syrah in Santa Barbara County, and we have the oldest producing Syrah vines. As the vine ages, there are lower yields. The grapes tend to be a little bit smaller, which creates this beautifully concentrated juice. Even though there's less of it produced, what is produced is of high value. We're very excited to get to share this with you all today.
Yeah, I would probably say the grapes themselves, less in quantity, higher in quality, a lot of concentrated fruit, which I think really lends to making this a little bit of a bigger of the Syrahs that we have, more medium-bodied to full-bodied Syrah there. Just the nose already. This is probably where I can get a little bit more tobacco or...
I feel like the classic Syrah markers that you're looking for in a wine, where you get the fruit profile, you get the tobacco, sometimes you can get a little bit of that herbaceousness, yep. Almost like a sage quality. I think those are all coming through in this wine, and it's very exciting.
I'm getting almost like a burst of charcuterie. You get a lot of the like cured meats that you get out of some older Syrahs, which I really like. I think you kind of noted like rosemary, a nice filet mignon with this, sitting on an oak grilled barbecue. Good Santa Maria style with the seasoning on that. I can just see open flame steak, and this just sitting there. I'd probably have a glass of this while I'm actually cooking too. So
I think it would be even better if we had like a compound butter with those herbs that we were mentioning before that are coming up in the wine itself, just melting across the top of that steak.
Yeah,
I think that would be perfect. Even though I'm not of the meat persuasion, I can still appreciate the pairing.
That smell,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
like the flavor,
pairing
like,
is. For me, I'm always going to go towards mushrooms. I also like the repose. I would drink this all by itself. I would share this with my friends, with my family. Very proud to be a part of a winery that has something so historical that's still producing fantastic wines to this day. I'm very excited for you all to be able to try this, because I can't translate it enough through just conversation. Getting this in your glass is the most important.
I think, this Black Bear and this fruit, the 7-8 planter fruit, this year, I think this really showcases why people come, obviously, to Zaca Mesa and enjoy our Syrahs, but specifically even more the greater the valley that we have. This Rhone region that we have, it really is quite nice. And I think for anybody, as kind of you mentioned, Hilary, it's drink now, but I can imagine this wine being so amazing in 10, 20 years.
One of the great qualities of the Zaca Mesa wines, the reserve lineup especially, is they drink beautifully in their youth, but there's this beautiful transition that happens as you lay it down and age it for some time. So while you can enjoy it now, it's also great if you lay it down. I don't have the patience to do that, so I lean on Zaca Mesa to age my wines for me. Or I buy 3, so I have 1 to drink now, 1 to share, and 1 to save for later.
I think that's a good thing. Or if you buy 3 or 6, right? You can do 1 for now, 1 for 5 years, 1 for 10 years, and then 2 to share.
Yeah, because this is definitely something that you want to share with your friends and family.
I still can't get over the color.
Oh, the color is gorgeous. The aromatics are very vibrant, and for an old vine, that's not always what you're expecting. Sometimes the more savory side comes out, and this definitely has some beautiful fruit profiles. So very excited to share this all with you. This is your October Black Bear Society Reserve Club release, and we thank you so much for taking the time to sip with us today, and
looking forward to seeing the tasting room soon.
Yeah, thank you. Cheers.